Hello team, welcome back. And today we will discuss about static and this keyword in Java. So let's start with. So very first, we will discuss about the static keyword in Java. So in Java, the static keyword is used to memory management. We can create a static method, static variables, and static code blocks. Static members of the class belongs to the class itself. There is the another application of the static as well, like a static member of the class belongs to static itself instead of the class object. So we will implement and analyze this particular behavior with the help of Java program. Constructor can't be static. We have already discussed in the last tutorial that constructor can't be static. Today we will know why constructor can't be static. So as per the second statement, that static members belongs to the class instead of the object, and constructor will be called when you create the object of the class. So there is a contradict. If you will make the constructor as a static, then that belongs to the object instead of the class. So that's why constructor can't be static. Now we'll see how we can declare the static variables and how we can verify that they belongs to the class instead of the object. For this I need to go to Eclipse. In my Eclipse I will create a new class, name it counter class. Inside my counter class I will create few variables like int I equals to 0, and I will declare another variable int j equals to 0 as well. I will make the int, but I will make the j static with the help of a static keyword. So to make the variable as a static, I just need to append the static before the declaration type of the variable, right? Now inside my main method, suppose I want to print the value of I and j. So I will print this out. Now I will try to access my variable I on the basis of my class. So I will declare my class like counter class dot. We know very well that with the help of dot I can access anything which is related to the class or object, and I will print I, right? So you can see I am getting the error. Now I will hover my mouse cursor. Now I will keep my mouse cursor on the error, and it is saying cannot make a static reference to a non-static field counter.I. It means you can't do this because I is a non-static. It can't belongs to the class. It belongs to the object. If you will create the object of your class like this, counter class, say counter equals to new counter class, right? And instead of the class, you can call this variable on object. And what is the object? Object is counter. So you can see the error is resolved. So by this statement we can say that class variable or the instance variable belongs to the object of the class instead of the class itself, right? When I'm saying they belongs to the object, so what is the difference when I created the object and when was I just accessing this variable on the class? So there is a difference. When you are creating the object of your class, this class is being loaded by the class loader in Java, and when Java class loader will load the class, it will initialize all the things which is present inside the class and attach these things to the object of the class, so that you are not getting any error over here. But suppose I will declare another sysout and I will call the static method right now. So I declare my class counter class dot j, and see, we are not getting any compile time error. So by this statement we can say that static variables or static members belongs to the class instead of the object of the class. See, over here I am not declaring the object, I am accessing my static member on the class reference itself, but non-static is being accessed on the object reference, right? So static is belongs to the class and non-static is belongs to the class object. So I hope the statements are pretty much clear to everyone. Now we will move further. Now we will discuss about the static variable. So if you declare any variable as a static, it is known as a static variable. So we have already seen that how we can declare the static variables. The static variables can be used refer to the common property of all objects, right? We will discuss about it. The static variable get memory only once in the class area at the time of class loading. So we have already seen that the static variable directly related to the class, so it will be created only once, right? Now understand the second and third statement with the help of a program. So second statement is the static variable can be used to refer the common property, and third is it will use the memory only once. So the third statement we can verify over here. You can see the j is being accessed over the class, but I is being accessed over the reference of the class, or you can say the object of the class. It means if I declare another object counter class counter2 equals to new counter class, then you can see I can access my class variable on the second object as well, counter2.i. So every time when I am creating a new object, so these objects are basically created in the memory, right, in the heap memory of Java. So every time when creating a new object, that object is basically creating a new memory location to the instance. So this object have a separate memory location for the I, and this object counter1 have a separate memory location for the I, but j is just initialized once because j is belong to the class, so we can't access it over the object. So j will allocate the memory only once. So by this way, static variables are a memory efficient, or static members are a memory efficient and compared to the non-static. Now we will verify our statement 2 that common property can be accessed with the help of a static. So suppose I am declaring a constructor. So I will define a constructor public counter, and over here what I will do, I will plus plus I, so I plus plus, and I will plus plus j as well, so j plus plus, right? So there is any issue? We don't have any issue in that. Now over here I basically created two objects, right? Now I will declare another object. I will copy this and paste it and rename my object to object 3. Now I will comment out these print statements as well, and suppose I am printing the value of I and j over here. So I will put sysout, right? So I'm printing the value of I and j inside my constructor. For a hint, I will declare some string as well, value of I plus, and over here I'll declare value of j plus, right? So what I'm doing, I created a constructor. Every time the constructor will be called, the value of I will be plus and value of j will be plus, and after that I will print the value of I and j. And over here I am declaring three objects, so this constructor will be called three times, right? We have already seen that in the previous lecture. Now I will execute my program. See what is the output. Output is value of I equals to 1 and value of j equals to 1. This is the first iteration when I created the object counter. Now this is the second one, value of I equals to 1, value of j equals to 2. This is the second iteration when I created the object counter 2. And this is the third iteration, value of I equals to 1, value of j equals to 3, when I created the object 3. Every time the value of j is incrementing by 1. See, this is the first, second and third. But every time I'm getting the same value for I. Why? Because I is not related to the class. I is related to the object, but j is related to the class. So j is something which is initialized inside the memory of the class. So when you increment the j, it is incrementing itself. But when you incrementing the I, it is incrementing itself but inside the object. And every time I is being called for the different object, so that it is not being incremented, right? Because for the counter 1 the I is 1, for the counter 2 the I is 1, and for the counter 3 the I is 1. But j is not related to the object, it is related to the class, so that every time when you are calling the increment, it is incrementing itself. So this is related to the memory, and this is a common property. This is a common property for all constructors, so that all the common things we need to initialize, or we need to keep inside our project or Java program, we need to keep that static. So we have discussed about these things. Now we will discuss about the static method. So if you apply static keyword with any method, that is known as a static method, right? A static method belongs to the class rather than its object, and a static method can be invoked without need of creating the instance of the class. So these all property we have seen with the static variable. Just a single difference between the variable and method, you need to put the static keyword before the return type of your method. Rest all of the properties will be same, right? The static method can be called on the reference of the class instead of the object, right? And the static method can be invoked without creating the object of the class, because we don't need the object of the class to call the static members. So the property and all the application would be static, will be same for the method and the variable. Now we will discuss about this. So there is So in Java, there are a lot of use of this keyword. In Java, this is a reference variable that refers to the current object. So in Java, we have a lot of use of this, right? We will see the real use of this when we will use the inheritance in Java. But right now, we will understand it with the help of the class and instance variable. So this is the reference variable that refers to the current object. And here are few property of this. So first we will learn about the properties, then we will see the practical implementation of this. So first property of this is, this can be used to refer the current class instance variable. This can be used to invoke current class method. So this can be used with the variable as well, and this can be used with the method as well. This bracket can be used to invoke the current class constructor. So this can be used with the methods, this can be used with the constructor, and this can be used with the variable itself. Static only can be used with the variable and method. Static can't be used with the constructor, but this can be used with the constructor as well, because it is not related to the object and class. It is just related to the current object. This can be passed as an argument in the method call. This can be passed as an argument in the constructor call as well. So we will see this. And last one is, this can be used to return the current class instance from the method. Now we will see the practical implementation of this. Suppose I will declare a new class, call it students demo. So we have created a student demo class. Now suppose I will declare few instance variables. So I will declare int roll number, declare string name, string standard. Now I will create a constructor public student demo, and I will parameterize this constructor, right? Int I, string n, string s. So I is for the roll number, n for the name, and s for the standard. I will keep it and assign these to my instance variable, like roll number equals to I, name equals to n, and standard equals to s. Now I will create a new method like public void display, and inside my method I will print all these things. So sys out, and I will say student roll number plus roll number plus name is plus name plus standard, right? So what this print statement will do, this print statement will print the roll number, name, and class. Now I will declare the object of my demo student class in my main method. So I will declare students demo, say std equals to new student demo. Over here I need to define the roll number, like suppose 10, name is Frank, and class is second, right? I will declare another object of the student demo class. So I will copy this, paste it over here, and call it std1. Change the value, roll number is 20, name is Michael, and standard is 5th, right? Now on both of my object, I will call my display method. So std.display, std1.display. Save my program and execute this program. So you can see the both statements are being printed in a correct manner. Student roll number 10, name is Frank, and in class second, student roll number 20, name is Michael, and in class 5th. Now I will tweak my program a bit. Instead of the I, N, and S, I will rename it with the same name as I have inside my class. So I will call it roll number, I will call it name, and I will call it standard, right? And I will assign the roll number to roll number, I will assign name to name, and I will assign standard to standard. Is there any issue? No, I am not getting any error. So everything is correct from the programming point of view. Now I will execute my program again. See, there is a difference between the previous output and the current output. It is saying roll number is 0, name is null, and class is null. Roll number again is 0, name is null, and class is null. The change, what change I did over here? I just renamed my variables. And unfortunately and fortunately, these names matching with the variables which I have inside my class, right? So this may be possible, and basically this is the correct programming standard to rename your variable name similar to the class variable when you are assigning a variable to a variable, right? This is the correct programming standard. But by this way, I'm not getting the desired output. Suppose you will declare it I, you will declare it N, you will declare it S. So that was not meaningful. Some other person who is reading your program, this is garbage for him, right? But you are declaring it roll number, declare it name, declare it a standard. Then it is a meaningful data. It is showing that this is the standard what I need to assign to, which I need to assign to this standard. This is the name which I need to assign to this name, and this is the roll number which I need to assign to this roll number at a class level. But by this way, I'm not able to execute my program correctly. I'm not getting the desired output. So what is the reason? So first we'll understand the reason, then we'll understand the solution. So by this statement, what it is doing, it is not assigning this roll number to this roll number. It is assigning the roll number to itself. It is assigning the name to itself, and it is assigning a standard to itself. So to assign this roll number to the class level roll number, this name to the class level name, and this standard to the class level standard, I need to define this keyword before this instance. Say this dot roll number, this dot name, and this dot standard. So by this way, what I am trying, you can see the warnings has been removed. Over here I am saying this dot roll number means this roll number, and this roll number means this roll number, right? So this roll number is equivalent to this, and this roll number is equivalent to this. So by this, what we are doing, we are assigning the current instance variable to the object. So once the object will be created, this will be assigned to this roll number. Now if I will execute my program, see everything is working fine, right? So this is the application of the this keyword in Java. We can also do this with the help of method, with the help of constructor, right? So this is a very simple program, right? So we have seen about the static, and we have seen about the this keyword. I hope it is pretty much clear to everyone. So thank you guys, thanks for your time.